Welcome back to my CryptoQ Media channel. It's great to have you back. Possibly the most exciting part of this market cycle is still to come, and it might not be for the reason you're thinking. Anyone who has been keeping up with the market for any amount of time knows that XRP has occasionally lagged behind, the most significant of them being its failure to hit its new all-time high in 2017. It started in early 2017 and continued until mid-December, reaching a high on January 4, 2018, after which it appeared to be stagnating. The reason behind this was that, in contrast to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, it had been in a state of consolidation, doing nothing, and trading sideways for almost 6 months. By the way, XRP soared by an incredible 80,000% during that market cycle, outperforming all other asset classes. The icing on the cake, as it were, came last. That being said, while it would be acceptable if XRP experienced occasional delays in the past, it is not the crux of my argument. While I'm not opposed to it, I do think there's cause for optimism here. Genuinely, I'm thrilled to divulge a few things at the start of the video because, let's be honest, we've all been secretly wondering, or should have been, if this market is genuinely going to expand. The increase of the Russell 2000 suggests that risk-seeking investors are turning their attention to small-cap enterprises, which is why alternative investing methods don't emerge until then. At that point, the relationship to alt season becomes obvious. But that has not occurred, and it has not occurred for the whole 15-year existence of the cryptocurrency asset class. Consequently, that worries some people. In my opinion, we shouldn't be engaging in this activity more frequently. That will be addressed later on, but for now, know that if my predictions about the future are correct, XRP, and maybe many other altcoins will be given a lot less attention. The problem is that small cap stocks have been slow to react on occasion. It has happened, but we haven't seen it in the whole period that cryptocurrencies have been an asset class. In passing, I remember bringing up that same matter around 6 months ago. However, I have additional information that I think will encourage you to view the potential results of this market cycle with a far more optimistic perspective. Before I begin, let me clarify that I do not hail from any kind of financially secure family. I am not a financial advisor, so you should not put your money where my mouth is. Here I am, just a curious enthusiast who enjoys making films about cryptocurrency on YouTube. This video was recorded at 11:19 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday, September 24, 2024. The second my phone fell. Got 59 cents worth of XRP. I purchased Bitcoin at a price of 64,312 on the Crypto Fear Greed Index. The market has officially returned to greed mode, scoring 59 out of 100. While we may be a bit greedy now, we will be tremendously greedy at some point in the future that we cannot now predict. I am eagerly looking forward to that. What steps are necessary to reach our destination? We are situated on the outside of the video, as I indicated earlier. The expansion of the marketplaces is critical. We need to see a wider variety of investors coming into alternative cryptocurrencies and small-cap equities because they are apparently riskier investments. Playing rise to the top is really all there is to the less hazardous stuff. It has exploded in popularity. That is why it has received more investment capital. Consequently, investors prefer large-cap cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, XRP, and others because of their perceived security. This infographic was provided with you by Seth Golden, a hedge fund consultant and chief marketing strategist at Phenom Group. It is now visible on your screen. This one completely captivated me. If you're able to, I definitely recommend looking at your screen right now as long as you're not behind the wheel. Attempt not attempted, driving with 2 people and 10 hands is risky. Take a look at this graph now. On average, Exhibit 3 includes CRSP, Bank of America, US, equities, and quant strategy. Nonetheless, I am unsure of their source when it comes to Occidents. If you would still like to view the source, it is located at the bottom of the page. Show 3, however, usually large caps performed better than other size categories in economic cycles that did not have a recession. Using the index to the 101st Fed cut 12 months after the first cut, the average returns of large, small, and mid caps are calculated in each easing cycle since the 1970s. So that everyone can follow along, I shall explain Seth Golden's writing in full. Simply writing the following: Federal Reserve, lowering cycles, he failed to describe a recession. He proceeded to write lead check in capital letters, as the event had already taken place. Afterwards, he inserted mid-caps follow check into the text. He has a little siren here, as this hasn't happened yet. What he wrote was that small capitals lag. And so, small caps have trailed behind the rest of the Bitcoin market more than they ever have before. I brought up the fact that there have been times in history when, earlier this year, it was probably in January that I brought this up. One thing to remember is that there have been cases in the past where large caps did in fact take off, but little caps didn't show up until much later, perhaps 10 months or even longer. It follows that the Russell 2000 small cap index might be taken into account. The fact that it is starting to play catch up is what matters to us. To take your XRP to the next level, you need an alt season. You better hope we get stock market expansion if you want an alt season, because we have never had one without it. The reasoning behind this is that while dealing with stocks and cryptocurrency, assets are put at risk. They are seen that such by investors. They treat them in the same way because of this. Aside from Bitcoin, this is exactly what happens. Risk takers put their money into altcoins and smaller cap companies, putting them further out on the curve. As I indicated earlier, the key issue is that this kind of delay has never occurred in crypto's history, which is why people feel like this time is different. Unless, of course, you want to know what that means for the crypto asset classes linked to that. This kind of thing has happened before the crypto asset class even existed. Are small caps ever going to catch up together with this? He possesses an extra alarm bell, and he recorded solely cutting cycles in which minor caps result in a recession. We should think about that. His argument is that, historically speaking, and currently included in this cycle as well, recessions have always occurred when small cap indices have outperformed large caps. As I said before, tiny caps have usually been the market leaders in the days after a recession ends, but that isn't happening right now. In situations where a bull market does not precede a recession, what we are currently seeing is really typical. Wearing a large helmet is the best option. Mid caps come next, and small caps are right after that. That much is evident from this. As can be seen in Seth's figure, micro caps tend to lag in conditions that are not recessionary. Given that alt season happens anytime the stock market displays substantial breadth, it follows that XRP face melt season is probably being postponed until the very end. In fact, this is likely the case for all altcoins. Regardless of your stance on making predictions about the future of the cycle, it is impossible to dispute that the current situation is in line with what has not led to recessions, as the evidence indicates that this is the most likely historical conclusion. From a historical perspective, the current scenario represents market bullish activity, regardless of whether a recession is imminent or not. This holds great significance. Think about it if you're interested in tracking XRP's season-long trajectory. While it's true that small cap stocks have never seen such a dramatic drop in value, I often get the impression that people are trying to tell me something is wrong when they say that. At this point, nothing has altered. We truly value having you here today. For the time being, I ask that you subscribe and favorite my channel.